push it all the way out. So. That's got to be on the field of play.
Jonathan Dillinger is escorting Cameron Fox and Jory Todd.
They haven't been talked up.
Jacob Sampson is escorting Jasmine Sampson. And now for our lineup of royalty. Our freshman attendant, Madison Macy, is escorted by Jacob Duncan. Sophomore attendant, Caden McKnight, is escorted by Caden Hancock. Skylar Commons is escorting junior attendant, Riley Nesbo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. This is Benji Finsky, alongside my broadcast partner Leonard Bauer and our producer engineer Ryan Dasso, and we're coming to you live from Seneca High School, where tonight the Monett Cubs will take on the Seneca Indians in a battle of Big 8 West rivals. Monett, under the guidance of fifth-year coach Derek Ewell, is coming off a convincing 46-14 victory over Rogersville last Friday. Seneca, under Coach Ryan McFarland, defeated Lamar 15-11 on the road last week to move their record to 4-1 on the season. The Indians, after losing in Week 1, are really on a roll now. A year ago, these two teams met in Week 6. Seneca came away with a 49-28 victory. Both teams entered tonight's contest playing some really good football, and tonight is an important game for the Cubs and the Indians. Leonard, as we take a look at this, a big crowd on hand here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, so a definite home field advantage for the Indians. What must Monett do to bring home a road victory tonight?
In any game, the key is to avoid mistakes. And you and I were talking about this on the way down. I think if the Cubs can avoid costly turnovers and costly penalties, you know, sometimes a penalty at the right time is just like a turnover almost. It may kill a drive. But if they can avoid mistakes, I think they can play with Seneca. And Seneca's got a tremendous motivation going. It's their homecoming. You pointed out there's a huge crowd. They're all around the field. The atmosphere here is like a playoff game. But it's this terribly important game, both in the conference standings and in the district standings. And these two teams have a long and spirited rivalry through the years. So there's just everything going tonight to make this the most important game in the Big 8 Conference.
The Indians lost in Week 1 against Springfield Catholic and were soundly beaten by 15 points in that one. But since that time, they have run off road victories at Reed Spring, Nevada, and then last week at Lamar. And then 2 weeks ago, they upended the Cassville Wildcats down here 28-21. So right now the Indians are playing some really good football. And as you said, a huge game tonight that has conference and district implications wrapped into it. Tough place to play. It always has been. The crowd really close on you. It's a unique vantage point for us. We're probably, 20, 25 yards from the sideline here. So it's a unique place to not only view a football game, but I'm sure to play.
We were talking about the fact if it were a normal stadium, we would be sitting on the track.
Yeah.
We're that close to the field. And it's almost a feeling like in the basketball stands because you're so close to the action here.
Absolutely. And, you know, Ryan, as he shoots the game tonight and brings it on internet TV, it's a unique vantage point for our people watching back at home because we're not really high here on the south side.
Right.
But we're really close. So Ryan will probably be able to catch some kids' freckles as he zooms in on action here tonight. It's the Cubs and the Indians live from Seneca. The Home Shield Pest Control kickoff just about 28 minutes away. When we return, Leonard and I will take a look at Week 5 in the Big 8, and we'll also take a look at tonight's slate of games. Stay tuned for more of the Monett Cub pregame after this timeout. You're listening to the Monett Cubs live on KKBL and the Talon Sports Network.
The cheerleaders will present the court with a gift from the Student Council. Congratulations, Queen Madison. The student body has chosen you as their 2019 football homecoming queen. The queen and her attendants will now be escorted to their place of honor.
Back at Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca, still about 25 minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. Time to take a look at the Big Eight from a week ago. Several interesting contests that kind of jumbled the standings once again. Aurora at Mount Vernon. Of course, the Mountaineers leading the Big Eight East. They win that one easy, 46-0. East Newton at Cassville, and East Newton playing better football, Leonard. They fall to the Wildcats, but only 21-7. So East Newton's starting to put some things together.
I was really surprised at that score. I know East Newton is better, but in past years, Cassville would have had a 40-point lead by halftime. And this year, I didn't see the game. You can't tell from the score, but it sounds like East Newton was in the game all the way. And so definitely the Patriots are playing better.
Marshfield at Hollister, all Blue Jays 42-21. McDonald County picking up their second victory of the year. They defeat Nevada 35-0. Reed Spring at Springfield Catholic. Reed Spring's up and down throughout the year. They defeat the Fighting Irish 28-15. Rogersville and Monett, all Cubs 46-14. And Seneca on the road at Lamar in what was the game of the week, 15-11 in a defensive battle.
Yes, both of those teams have some powerful offenses, but not, at least Lamar's not up to the par of past years. The Cubs held them to one touchdown. I'm sure that's the first time that's happened in a long time outside of a playoff game. And Seneca held them to a touchdown and a field goal. So two weeks this year that Lamar has not scored two touchdowns, and that's just unheard of.
That is unheard of.
In recent years.
And you take a look at the standings after week 5 in the Big 8 East. Right now, Mount Vernon has a stranglehold on that division. They're 5-0 overall, followed by Reed Spring and Catholic at both at 3-2. Hollister, Marshfield, Rogersville, all 2-3. Aurora, 1-4. In the Big 8 West, Cassville and Seneca both 4-1 now, followed by Lamar and Monett, both 3-2, McDonald County 2-3, East Newton 1-4, and Nevada 0-5. This week in the Big 8 Conference, Cassville travels to McDonald County. That game can be heard on 97.7 FM. Hollister at Reed Spring, Lamar at East Newton, Marshfield at Nevada, Monett here at Seneca, Mount Vernon at Rogersville, and Springfield Catholic at Aurora. And that game can be heard on AM 940. And as you look at the schedule, Leonard, and you mentioned already, this is really the game of the week in the Big 8.
All of the other teams you could pretty much just guarantee a winner by looking. And this one, though, is one that I think should be hotly contested and evenly contested, and definitely the game of the week in the Big 8 Conference.
Monett comes in 3-2, winners of their last two contests over Lamar and Rogersville. They're averaging 31.6 points per game. Their defense much improved over a year ago, giving up 16.8. And you take a look at last week, Monett could have really pitched a shutout in that one, as it was their offense that actually gave up the points. This defensive unit's starting to play some pretty good ball.
They really are. At the beginning of the season, I was worried about the defensive secondary against a good passing attack. But we have some somewhat experienced people back there and some new people back there, and they're getting better as the year goes along. So I'm starting to feel better and better about the Cubs secondary. The line I knew would be tough, and they have been. They've been the backbone of this team so far, both offensively and defensively.
They really have, and it really starts there, and they continue to get better and better. We're going to slip away here from some of our outstanding sponsors. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Indians and the Cubs as they hook up down here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. Back with more pregame after this timeout.
Watching them both and enjoying watching them, although that poor seventh grade team.
I went to the Seneca game a week ago. Poor AJ, he sticks the ball up there and be running back.
That was the first game that CJ played at quarterback. He started the season playing at hand. And they could score, they could move the ball, so the quarterback, he did score touchdowns. I didn't think they would score. As far as I'm concerned, it's a successful year.
Settle down.
Would you please rise and remove your hats for the pregame activities of the playing of the song Amazing Grace and our national anthem by the Seneca High School Marching Band under the direction of Lance Parnell and Tyler Jones.
The Talon Sports Network covers 3 area high school football teams each and every Friday night. The Cubs right here on 95.9 FM, the Cassville Wildcats on 97.7 FM, and the Aurora Hound Dogs are on AM 940. Be sure to catch Big 8 Conference football on TSN each and every week of the 2019 season. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Quick Draw Gun. With hundreds of new and used firearms in stock, Quick Draw Gun is just off Highway 60 in Monett at 601 South Kyler. Tonight's opening kickoff sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. With over 20 years of industry experience, Home Shield Pest Control can tackle any unwanted insect or pest with affordable, safe, and effective method. Call Daniel Vineyard today at 772-4177. Leonard, we take a closer look at these two teams. We've talked about Monett's triple threat of backs. They have been running the ball very, very well. Of course, much of that attributed to the play of the offensive line.
Right.
But Umfleet and Gwynn are starting to put together some pretty good years. And Majors came out early and set the tone this season. All 3 of those guys have been running very well.
I think Brendan Majors has been really the key to this offense because they needed someone to take William Murphy's place and run hard up the middle. And by doing that, it forces teams to concentrate on the middle, and that opens up the wide plays to Gwynn and Umfleet, and those two have excellent speed, excellent shiftiness, and by Majors punching up the middle, that's opened that up. And we have to also recognize Carter Brink. He's done this is his 3rd year as a starter, and he's playing like an experienced starter. He's doing a good job of reading the option, and when he's had to keep the ball, he's done a good job of running the ball at times.
He has. Last week, Majors accounted for 106 yards on the ground, so he's coming off a really good performance. For the year, Majors is the leading rusher for the Cubs at 403 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. Behind that, pretty good balance between Gwynn and Umfleet. Gwynn at 216 yards, averaging over 6 yards a carry, and Ethan Umfleet, 213 yards, averaging 7.1 yards per carry. So these guys are starting to put it together.
They really are. It's got to be a headache for the opposing defensive coordinator, the teams that the Cubs are playing.
Now, on the other side of the ball, a couple names we've called for a number of years. Trey Wilson is going to be a featured back, but Monty Mells, we've been calling his name, it seems like, for 6 years, Leonard.
As we were coming over, we were talking about that. I said, I think he's getting his doctorate degree here at Seneca because it seems like he's been here more than 4 years. But he's a very good athlete and started as a freshman, and he's just gotten better. He is a tough young man.
He really is. And Monty comes in at 5'10", 167. Trey Wilson, 5'10", 195. Both are seniors. And those are names that you will hear a lot tonight. Their starting quarterback, Lance Stevens. Lance, a 5'11", 189-pound junior quarterback. Those are 3 guys that the Cubs will have to key in on tonight. Leonard, as we mentioned, Seneca coming in winners of 4 in a row. Monett winners 2 in a row. This is going to really set the tone for the remainder of the year. The Cubs going into weeks 7, 8, 9 will be prohibited favorites in those games, you would think.
Right.
So a victory tonight could possibly set the Cubs up for a 7-2 regular season.
Which would, based on seeing them in the preseason, I would, if someone had said, would you take a 7-2 record, I would have said definitely. Just didn't know how good this group could be. But after the Mount Vernon game, we got the idea they could be pretty good. And after the Cassville game, they played Cassville even. And then after the Lamar game, I was convinced this group is tough. They can play with anybody in this area just about, at least in Class 3 and below.
And you know what, Leonard, you mentioned tonight, or earlier tonight, that this is a game of who's going to take care of the ball, who's going to avoid those costly penalties. It's not always a turnover that costs you, but, man, a holding penalty at the wrong time or an illegal block, it really sets you behind the chains, and it's really, really, really hard to overcome it, especially against a good team. So,
or a pass interference call when it would have been 3rd down and the other team would have to punt, and all of a sudden you give them a first. Yes, penalties can be extremely important in the game.
And we were down here several years ago. In fact, it was the state championship year, and I remember it vividly. Seneca scored to take the lead in the second half and then tried a squib kick, onside kick, or whatever it might be, and it did not work. Monett took advantage of that, and I think one play later, Michael Branch scored a touchdown to draw the game even, and then Monett just got on a roll and won by 3 touchdowns going away. So let's not discount momentum, and once a team gets momentum, man, it can make a huge difference.
It really can. And speaking of momentum and motivation, this is their homecoming tonight. And homecomings can have one of two effects. They can either get the team so, fired up that they just play tremendously good, or it can get them so fired up that they're react and make mistakes. And so homecoming can be a blessing or a curse.
It can. It really can. The Monett Cubs coming on to the field. As we look on, they are in their traveling white jerseys and purple pants trimmed in gold and white. The helmets with the traditional M on the left side of the helmet, numerals on the right side. The Seneca Indians coming onto the field, one I'm going to call the northwest corner,
right,
even though this field does not set true to the world. But they're coming in from the west side, and Seneca in their traditional red jerseys, white pants, and white helmets. A lot of tradition in this game, Leonard.
Yes, this rivalry goes back many years. And I think through the years that I've been at Monett, I think Seneca has won more than Monett has. So I think we still owe them a little bit of catching up to do. There were many years where Seneca was just so good that, they were contending for the state every year. And that run ran out about 8 years ago, and they've come back to earth. But they've gotten their program built up again, and they think they're in a position to make a run at state again this year.
I've had the privilege of broadcasting Monett now for the last, 12 or 13 years. But prior to that, I did broadcasting with Cassville and some other schools. And year after year after year, Cassville would have a good team until they came to Seneca.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seneca would end a run. And, like you said, Seneca dipped, 8 or 10 years ago. And now they've built their program back up. So this just appears to be really just going to be a great game here tonight, and that's what we hope for tonight. A good, spirited game between two longtime rivals down here at Seneca High School. The Indians coming onto the field. We're still about 6.5 minutes away from tonight's opening kick. We'll slip away here from more of our sponsors, and when we get back, it'll be time for tonight's opening kickoff from Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Back after this timeout.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's not very likely. So, yeah.
We'll throw him off the back there in about 2 seconds.
You just get your, part of your 15 minutes of fame.
That's all I need. Yeah, everybody wants to see that.
Well, I'm afraid to stand on the table. No, this is about as high as I can go. Because if I can put this up another maybe 2 inches. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, this is the old spot. They were gonna put us over there. Yeah, they thought we fit. I mean, where would we fit over there?
I'd say that would be smart because Seneca's homecoming, they're going to be so fired up they're liable to kick the ball. Put it on the ground.
Back at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, just a reminder that you're listening to the Monett Cubs on KKBL 95.9 FM in Monett, Missouri. Tonight's first quarter will be brought to you by Crown Double K Realty. When you want to buy or sell a home in the Monett area, rely on someone you've known and trusted for years. Call Whitey Metlock at Crown Double K Realty, just west of Taco Bell on Highway 60 and Kyler. Later this evening, Leonard and I will be selecting the player of the game, and that's sponsored by Crowder College in Neosho, Missouri. With over 50 years of successful graduates, Crowder College is committed to academic excellence. Crowder College, where you are the difference. Leonard, just another beautiful evening for football. The temperatures this week finally broke from the 90 degrees and came down about 20 degrees down into the 70s. And tonight, not a cloudless sky, but relatively cloudless. Not a stitch of breeze tonight, and really just a perfect setting for football.
It really is. It's going to be a little bit hot for the players to start with, but as the evening goes along, it'll be delightful for the fans. In fact, they may want to put on a little jacket or sweater, but the players it'll get better conditions for them. But the captains for tonight are Chet Butterworth, Trevon Price, Junior Villa, and Junior Cavazos. So interesting group of captains. And what is, to me, is interesting, Trevon Price, this is his first year of playing football at Monett. And he's got to be thrilled to be one of the captains tonight.
Absolutely.
In this important game. And he may be an important part of this game from his defensive halfback position.
Yes, he may. And, you know, from our vantage point, Leonard, I think we have a chance at maybe being able to see these numbers tonight.
On our sideline, for sure. Now, on the far sideline, we may have problems still because these Monett jerseys the numbers tend to blend together at far away. But we're a lot closer than normal, so our chances are better than usual.
The coin toss in the air, and it will be interesting to see what the Cubs will do. In fact, they won't have to make a choice. It's going to be won by the Indians, and they'll defer to the second half, so the Cubs will receive the ball, I'm sure, to start this contest. The Indians retreat to the west side. The Cubs move to the east side. Cubs will receive to start this one, and they will move right to left as we look on. The Indians will kick off going left to right. We should mention, speaking of kicking tonight, Cubs playing without their kicker tonight. Alex Salas injured himself in a junior varsity contest.
Alex Salas is not suited up, has his ankle all in a boot. I was told by Coach Ewell that he injured himself in a JV game on Monday night. So that means that Ethan Umfleet will be an even more important part of this game than he normally is, because he will be the kicker, the field goal kicker, and the punter. So he'll be on the field almost all the time unless he gets injured. Let's hope that does not happen.
Well, speaking of Umfleet, he's retreating with Gwynn toward the goal line. They'll be the deep men for the Cubs. And we're just minutes away from tonight's Home Shield Pest Control kickoff. Glad to have you along from Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. Big crowd on hand here. The home stands across the way. A big contingency from Monett here on the stands on the south side. And just tons of fans ringing the field in both end zones.
Yes, many fans brought their lawn chairs and are sitting in the end zones.
Indians waiting for the signal, and here we go. The ball in the air, end over end kick that comes down at the 15, return up the middle to the 20, 25, 30, out to the 35, to the 40, 45, 50, one man to beat, to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown! There are no flags.
What do you think, 85 yards?
85 yards.
Yeah, about 85 yards.
It was 85 yards from the 15. And there he was, Mr. Umfleet. 85 yards later, and 12 seconds deep into the game, and the Cubs take a 6-0 lead. Lightning in a bottle for the Cubs as they strike early. And that touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. The upcoming PAT brought to you by Monett Glass. Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's high enough, it's long enough, and it is good. 12 seconds into this one, and the Cubs lead it 7-0. And boy, we got a good look at that one. I bet Ryan did too, because I was watching him follow that runner. And I tell you what, he ran right in front of us here. He had one man to beat. He had the kicker to beat at the 50, and he got past him, and then that was all she wrote. Cubs strike early and lead it by a touchdown. So now the defense better get ready, because they had about 12 seconds to prepare themselves. That's an interesting way to start a football game.
That is. We haven't seen that very often in our broadcasting. I have seen this happen before in a game, though, where one team returned the opening kick for a touchdown and think, boy, this is going to be a blowout, and that'd be the only score they got that night.
Well, let's hope it's not that way tonight.
Let's hope it's not that way tonight.
We'll see if Umfleet has caught his breath enough to kick this one away. He has it teed up at the 40 and spins it in the air. High end over end kick that comes down to the 15. Return to the near sideline, out across the 30 to about the 35. And that's where the Indians will take over, 1st and 10.
For the Cubs, number 9, that is Dylan Lynch, and number 41. I don't find a 41. Let me find a different program here. 41 is not on that program. I've used an old program there, maybe in a more recent one.
Cubs will have it 1st and 10 from the 35. They come out with 4 wide receivers. The tailback is Monty Males. Back to pass. Quarterback looking left, throwing left, has his man. Complete, out near a 1st down. A good grab out there by the wide receiver for a gain of nearly 10 yards.
Excellent play by the Indians. Trevon Price on the stop for the Cubs, but not until the Indians had picked up enough for a 1st and 10. So the Indians have started off well. I can't find number 41 on another program either, Benji, so I'm just not sure who number 41 is.
Good catch there by Simpson. Gain of 10. 1st down for the Indians. Split backs now behind the quarterback, Stevens. Lance takes the snap, gives second man through. That's Males, and Males is hit near the line of scrimmage. He's able to surge forward for a gain of a couple.
Brought down there by number 56, Harrison Merriman. A good stop by Merriman. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Indians.
Indians with their first drive of the contest. They come out with 3 receivers, 2 to the near sideline, 1 wide to the left. Single back behind Stevens. On 2nd down, he takes the snap and gives on a dive play. Up the middle it goes, and the Cubs defense ready for Trey Wilson. Wilson stood up after a gain of 1 or 2.
Met there by Harrison Merriman and Cole Davis and Junior Villa. So a defensive tackle and 2 linebackers hit him and drove him back. But before they drove him back, he did gain a little bit. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Indians.
Ball just short of the 50-yard line. Indians face their first 3rd down of the game. 9:55 left, first quarter action. The Cubs on top 7-0 on an 85-yard kickoff return to start the game. 3rd and 6. Stevens under center, drops straight back. He looks right, he fires right, and this one nearly intercepted. It is incomplete and will bring up 4th down.
Junior Cavazos had excellent coverage and actually cut in front of the intended receiver and almost intercepted, as you say. So a big play, a stop for the defense of the Cubs, and Seneca is in punt formation.
As the punter stands at his 36-yard line, a pair of Cubs back deep to return this one. Umfleet and Cavazos. Snap back is a good one. Kick away is a high tumbling kick. Cavazos grabs it and is hit down immediately at the 25-yard line. A 26-yard punt, 1-yard return, and the Cubs will have it 1st and 10.
Benji, it just dawned on me, this is the Cubs' 6th game of the year and the 4th time they've been playing a team in the top 10 in the state.
That is an unbelievable schedule.
It is, and Seneca is, by the way, is number 10 in the state this week.
And well-deserved after
Right.
big victories over Cassville
and Lamar.
So here come the Cubs, 1st and 10, near their 25-yard line. Dive play up the middle it goes to Majors, and Majors spinning his way out of one tackle and is finally gang tackled near the 28. That'll be a gain of about 3 yards.
Number 8 for Seneca, that's Dathan Long, and number 2, Dylan Myers on the stop. But a gain of about 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 for the Cubs.
Clock rolls with 9:03 left, first quarter action. Monett on top 7-0. Cubs break huddle, send wide receivers left and right. Brink will work under center. Takes the snap, running the option, pitches it late to Umfleet, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and pushed out of bounds at midfield. A big gain for the Cubs from the 28 to the 50, a gain of 22 and a 1st down.
Finally pushed out of bounds by Levi Ketchum, but another nice run for Umfleet. He's getting a lot of business here early in the game.
1st down brought to you by Crown Power and Equipment, north of Monett on H Highway, Southwest Missouri's Case IH dealer. Discover the power of red. 1st and 10 Cubs from the 50. Brink under center will pitch right side. Gwynn, Jamie to the midfield stripe, hit and dropped immediately after a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Great tackle there by Jade Skaggs, a sure tackle, preventing Gwynn from getting upfield and down the sideline. A gain of 2 on the play, but the Cubs had hoped for much more than that on that particular play.
Yeah, initially it looked like the offensive line created a good surge, but a great open field tackle there from the Seneca defense. 2nd down, we'll call it 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line. Brink takes the snap, keeps it himself to the 45, spun down at the 44. He'll pick up about 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Zane Cotton on the stop for the Indians. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4, as you said.
So the Cubs face their first 3rd down opportunity. 7.5 minutes left here in the 1st quarter. The Cubs come out with a wide receiver wide to the right, one to the near sideline as well. Brink looks over the 4-man front. He'll take the snap, looks to throw, looks for Junior Cavazos. 1st down and more to the 20 and all the way down to the 15.
Tackled there by number 33, Preston Armstrong. Beautiful pass and a great catch by Junior Cavazos, and Junior is limping as he comes to the sideline. I hope it's nothing serious, but terrific play by the Cubs offense, moving the ball to the Seneca 15-yard line.
Gain of 28 yards on the play, and the Cubs enter the red zone. And this trip to the red zone brought to you by JMB Trucking Company of Cassville. When you need to deliver results, call JMB Trucking at 847-1307. Brink on 1st down, running the option, pitches it late to Gwynn, right side. He's to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown.
Great run by Jamie Gwynn, but it was set up by a great read by Carter Brink. Carter Brink held the ball till the very last minute, drawing the tackler to him, and just as the tackler got there, he pitched to Jamie, and all Jamie had to do was turn on the speed.
Jamie into the end zone, and the Cubs lead 13-0 at the 6:44 mark. Umfleet on to attempt the PAT. The kick up, it's high enough, it's long enough, and it is good. Cubs touchdowns brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. If you need an extra point or two from a trusted lawyer, call Randall, Mastery, and Randall at 235-8688, serving the Lawrence, Berry, and Stone County region. That extra point brought to you by Monett Glass or Mirror. And Mirror, if your kitchen window looks like it's been hit by a middle linebacker or your windshield was just cracked by an errant pass, call Monett Glass and Mirror, where if it shatters, it matters. This first quarter being brought to you in part by Crown Double K Realty. When you want to buy or sell a home in the Monett area, rely on someone you've known and trusted for years. Be sure to call Whitey Metlock at Crown Double K Realty. Sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. With over 20 years of industry experience, they can tackle any unwanted insect or pest with an affordable method. Call Daniel Vineyard at 772-4177. Umfleet to kick it away, a driving kick all the way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, out across the 15 to the 20, and a big hit there at the 25, and that's where the Indians will take over 1st and 10.
Number 41 was in on that tackle again, and I do not know his name. I do not have his number on my program.
I'll give you another one, though. 17 was on there. Wright was on
right,
the
Tanner
tackle.
Wright was in on it too, but 41 was there too, and I was trying to figure out who he is, and I just don't know.
Leonard, you could walk down there. It's only about 20 feet.
At halftime, I will find out. Yes.
6:37 left here, first quarter. Monett leads 14-0. The Indians with their second possession from their 26-yard line. Here's a handoff up the middle, and the Cubs defense just collapsed on the tailback. That was Monty Males that got swallowed up.
That defensive line is tough, led by Ray Villalta there and Cole Davis, a linebacker, but they stopped the ball carrier in his tracks. Loss of 1 on the play, in fact. 2nd and 11 for the Indians.
So the Indians down by 14 here halfway through the first quarter. They break huddle, send 2 receivers wide to the left, 1 to the near sideline. That's Monty Males out here to the near side. Out of the shotgun. Quarterback back to pass with time. Throws left side. Has a man out there caught and out to about the 40-yard line. I believe that was Simpson again.
Once again, Trevon Price there to make the stop, but not until a first down for the Indians. Benji might point out that the defensive front 3 for the Cubs at this point is Tanner Wright, Ray Villalta, and Harrison Merriman. And up to this point, they've been doing an excellent job of shutting down the run. Seneca's completed 2 passes, but their running game has not gotten off the ground.
You are correct. Stevens will work out of the shotgun now. Split backs beside him. Lance takes the snap. He'll give first man through. Good hard run there by Monte Males. Males able to get it out near the 45 for a gain of 6.
Junior Villa on the stop for the Cubs. That was the best running play the Indians have had so far. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Ball resting at the Indian 45-yard line. They need to get it to the 49. Simpson wide to the right. Out of the shotgun, Stevens gets a high snap. The play just busted because of that snap. He handed it to Wilson, who slammed down for no gain. In fact, he'll lose some yards.
Cole Davis was there as soon as the quarterback handed it off. Stopped the play dead. It's going to be a loss on the play of about 3, bringing up 3rd and 7 for the Indians.
That high snap really threw the timing off of that offensive play. Ball resting at the Indian 43. They need to get to the 49. Wide receiver split wide right, 1 wide left. Now slot man comes further wide to the near side. Stevens will work out of the shotgun. Takes a snap, now pitches near side. Running play with room, and it'll be enough for a first down as Wilson spins into Cubs territory.
Junior Villa made the first hit, but he couldn't wrap up, and the ball carrier gained another 4 yards before being brought down by Jamie Gwynn and Arl Cavazos. But enough for 1st and 10 for the Indians. For the first time, they're in Cub territory.
Gain of 9 on the play. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Stevens will work under center this time. Full house backfield behind him. Takes the snap, he'll hand to second man through, and straight through the middle, a new back in there. I'm gonna check his number real quick, Leonard.
Okay.
As I scrambled, he wears uniform number 7. That is Jackson Graham, a sophomore running back. He picks up about 3.
Tanner Wright on the stop for the Cubs. 2nd and 7 for the Indians with the ball just outside the Cub 45-yard line.
The Indians with 3 backs behind Stevens. Stevens looks over the 4-man front of the Cubs. Takes the snap, running the option, gets it to Males. Males cuts it in, hit, and down he goes. That'll be a loss on the play of a yard or 2.
Harrison Merriman on the stop, but I'm not sure of the linebacker that turned that play in and kept it from getting outside, but somebody came up from the outside and turned it in, and Harrison then filled in the open space, and a tackle for a loss. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for the Indians.
Leonard, I think that was Gunnar Bradley that did that on the far side.
I believe you're right. I thought I saw a 7, but I couldn't tell for sure. You're right. It was Gunnar Bradley that did that.
3rd down and 8. Back to pass Stevens over the middle, and it goes through the hands of his intended receiver, and it falls incomplete.
Cole Davis was there on the defense to hit the receiver, but the ball was high and over the receiver's head. No chance for a completion. Going to bring up 4th down, and you would think a punting situation for the Indians, but the ball is in Monett territory, so I would be very leery if I were the Cubs and make sure that this ball is punted.
Especially since the punter is the quarterback, Lance Stevens. Stevens does kick it away. Tumbling kick to the near sideline. Cavazos gets it at the 16. He's to the 20 and dives out to the 26.
Number 7 for the Indians there knocks Cavazos down. Number 7 is Jackson Graham. Ball goes over to the Cubs. 1st and 10 now from their 29-yard line. So not bad field position for the Cubs.
No, a 30-yard punt, but a 13-yard return by Cavazos. So the Cubs have it at the 29, leading 14-0 with 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Brink under center takes the snap, gives on a dive play. Majors off left guard, able to get across the 30 out to about the 33 for a gain of 4 yards.
Good hard run by Majors. Zach Cox on the stop for the Indians. Cox is a 5'11", 172-pound defensive end.
You know what, Leonard, those 3, 4, 5-yard gains, they're not really eye-catching, but boy, they're so effective, and it really opens up so many things for an offense.
You're right.
We'll call it 2nd and long 5 for the Cubs. And again, it's Majors off right guard this time, and he stood up at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be little or no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
This time number 54 and 29 for the Indians. That is Nick Aerosmith, and Skylar Commons did a great job of standing Majors up and preventing his forward progress. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 6 for the Cubs.
The ball at the 33-yard line. The Cubs come out with the wide receiver wide right and left. Gwynn in motion, and misdirection comes near side Umfleet. Here comes a flag out on the backside. Umfleet wrapped up near the 1st down marker. This one's going to come back. I think we're going to have a holding against the Cubs. It was thrown by the referee on the tail end of the play. It is holding against the Cubs.
Number 26, Trey Wilson, knocked Umfleet out of bounds. Actually took him out of bounds with almost a bulldog. Hit him high at his head. But a holding penalty against the Cubs is going to negate the play, which would have been a first for the Cubs.
It would have been a 1st down by about a yard. The flag thrown at the 35, so it'll be marked off from the 35 back to the 25. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 13 for the Cubs. Monett comes out with 2 receivers, 2 wings, and the tailback is Majors. Brink brings Quinn in motion, back to pass, throws deep right side, and a beautiful catch on the far sideline.
That's Umfleet.
And that's Umfleet, and what a pass, what a catch.
I think Umfleet's had a great game already if he went home right now. Beautiful pass by Carter Brink, as you pointed out, and Umfleet just extended as far as he could and got it on his fingertips and brought it in.
That was a 33-yard gain and a Cub first down. Brought to you, as always, by Crown Power and Equipment. You couldn't have drawn that up any better.
No,
that was absolutely perfect.
That was a perfect play.
And it was great defense, too.
Yes.
It was a great play on both sides. Here's a dive play, Majors, and he's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a gain of 1 or 2 here. Go ahead.
Actually, he stumbled as he got the handoff. He wasn't really tackled, but he still picked up a little bit, about 2 yards, and that's the end of the first quarter with the score Monett Cubs 14, the Seneca Indians 0.
And we'll slip away, be back with second quarter action after this timeout. Quarter, Cubs with it, second down and 8 from the Indian 40-yard line. Brink back to pass, throws over the middle, and he threw it behind his intended receiver, who was wide open in the middle of the field.
Win the intended receiver, and you're right, he was. Threw it behind him, and Jamie just couldn't. He turned back, but couldn't bring it in. So one of the few mistakes the Cubs have made so far. They've been almost perfect up to this point.
Just a reminder, the second quarter brought to you by Cox Health Monett, the official sports medicine provider of Monett High School Athletics. Here's an option play. Brink with lots of room down the left sideline, and is finally wrapped up after a big gain for the Cubs.
What a beautiful run by Carter Brink. He looked like a purple streak going down through there. Finally knocked down by Trey Wilson, but big play for the Cubs. Carter Brink showing that he can run the ball as well as throw it and hand it off.
Gain of 26 on that play as the Cubs enter the JMB red zone again here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. First and 10 for the Cubs from the 14. Cubs come out with 2 receivers, 1 to each side. Brink takes the snap. He'll give on the dive play to Brandon Majors. Majors still on his feet, driving inside the 10, and he's down near the 6-yard line.
Brought down finally by Dathan Long and Trey Wilson. Majors hit a solid wall on his first thrust, but he bounced off of that, took a step to the left, and then drove forward and turned it into a big gain, and it looks like about 7 yards. One thing about being so close here, when the chains get to the far end, we can't tell for sure, the yardage.
We'll call it a gain of 7, second down and 3 from the 7-yard line. Brink loses the snap, but is able to dive back on it. A mistake there as he pulled out a little early. It'll be a loss of maybe a yard, and it's going to bring up third down.
Yes, that was a near disaster, but
well, they're going to keep it at the 7, Leonard, so third down and 3 from the 7. Cubs in 4-down territory here, I would assume.
I would say, unless they decided to kick a field goal if they don't get it here.
Here is Majors running
and
right
he
side.
20.
He's short of the goal line, but he will have the first
I believe
down.
he's got the first.
He does have the first. It'll be first and goal for the Cubs.
Good hard run by Brandon Majors. It's going to be first and goal from, looks like from what, the 1.5 or 2?
They're saying the 1 on the scoreboard, so
Okay.
I'll take their
We'll take their
word
for
on it. So it's time for Leonard's favorite play in the whole world.
That's right.
The quarterback sneak. We should have an extra set of headsets here from you right down to Coach Ewell, so you can remind him of that.
We shall see, but I would just about bet that Carter will take it in himself.
Carter Brink under center. Takes the snap.
Nope,
He'll actually give it to Majors,
he's
who's
gonna
hit, and he's short of the goal line. He did not get in. No gain on the play.
Great play there by the Seneca defense. Number 29, Nick Aerosmith, leading the way. And I'm disappointed that Brink didn't take it in, but maybe he'll take it in on this play.
He'll go here. But instead, there's a timeout on the play here. Timeout charged to the Monett Cubs. We'll keep it right here and remind you that the second quarter being brought to you by Cox Health Monett, the official sports medicine provider of Monett High School athletics. Leonard, I also need to remind everybody to listen in on Saturday mornings to a show on AM 940 called the Saturday Morning Shoot Around. From 8 to 9 a.m. Saturday mornings with Outlaw Jr. It's a sports show that's going to ricochet and bounce around on various sports topics and get special insight interviews from former coaches, players, and legends in the high school, collegiate, and professional levels in the state of Missouri. Once again, that's the Saturday Morning Shoot Around, Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 on KSWM AM 940.
Sounds like an interesting premise. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, hopefully it will go. Here we go, 8:59 left, second quarter. Cubs on top 14-0. They're looking for more here. The ball on the left hash mark. Carter Brink will work under center, takes the snap, sneaks it forward, and touchdown for the Monett Cubs. There it is.
Just had to be stubborn and not do it on the first play, save it for the second.
So officially a 1-yard touchdown for Carter Brink, and the Cubs lead 20-0 with the PAT upcoming. The touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. The PAT brought to you by Monett Glass and Mirror. Umfleet on to attempt the PAT. Snap back, ball down, the kick up. High enough, long enough, but no good, I believe. He missed it wide right. So with 8:56 left here in the second quarter, Monett leads it 20-0. We're going to go ahead and keep it right here. Well, Leonard, now it becomes important for the Cubs to maintain the momentum.
Right.
They've really built great momentum here in the first quarter and 3 minutes. The first 15 minutes of play have been dominated by the Cubs, but there's a lot of football left to go.
Yes, there is. But if the Cubs can maintain the intensity and concentration that they've had so far, I don't give the Seneca Indians much hope. But that can all change. Momentum is a funny thing in football. And if the Cubs turn the ball over, give Seneca good field position and a touchdown or two, all of a sudden things could. So it's just important to maintain what they're doing right now for the Cubs.
And worry about the next play. So the next thing on the docket is good coverage here on a kickoff and make the Indians go, 75, 80 yards for a drive if they are going to score in this one. Umfleet will tee it up at the 40. Having some issues getting it to stand on the tee, even though there's no breeze to speak of. Umfleet approaches the ball, the kick in the air. It's a shorter kick, high end over end, that comes down at about the 25, scooped up at the 20. The return out across the 30 to the 35, and a good hard return by Trey Wilson sets the Indians up at about the 37.
Number 4 for the Cubs, that's David Madrid in on the stop, along with our mysterious number 41 again. Number 41 has been in on every kickoff return, and I don't know his name. I've got to find out at halftime.
He's on everything except the roster.
Yes.
First and 10 Indians from their 36-yard line. Quarterback Stevens will work under center, split backs beside him. Working on a long count now as the play clock under 5 seconds. Takes the snap, and he'll call his own number as he's able to get it out near the 40-yard line for a gain of 4.
Number 17, Tanner Wright, in on that stop.
Indians go without a huddle now as they try to get something going here offensively. Split backs behind the quarterback, Lance Stevens. Stevens takes the snap. He'll give on the dive play right up the middle. It goes. I believe that was Males. It was. Monty Males with the carry. Gains about 5 yards.
Good hard run there by Males, and Cole Davis on this tackle. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Indians.
An official timeout here. It's going to be very close for a first down.
Going to measure.
Leonard, we have a good vantage point here. I'm going to say he's going to be about 4 inches short.
I think you're exactly right. Maybe an inch off, but you're very close.
We'll see. We are standing, I'm standing about the 49. You're at about the what, 48, 47.
Right.
The ball's at the 46, so we'll see. They'll extend the chains here. And the Indians, well, they're going to be
you were
way off.
5 inches off.
Yeah, that's
so,
nearly
almost a yard. So, yes.
So it's going to be 3rd and short.
We were both off because I thought it was closer than that too.
Well, it's 3rd down and short, so the Indians will set it up at the 46-yard line on 3rd down. Now they'll re-huddle briefly. Clock rolling with 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. Monett on top 20-0. Some confusion as the Indians break huddle here. Stevens will work under center. Wide receiver now shifts to the right side. He'll take the snap. He'll give on a dive play, and it's a first down and more as Wilson able to get into Cub territory.
Junior Villa on the stop there, but that may have been the best running play the Indians have had tonight yet. It broke for good yardage, and so the Cubs now have gone to a 4-man front instead of a 3-man front. So we'll see how this develops.
1st and 10 Indians from the Cub 45. Back to pass Stevens. He looks right, throws deep. Right side, has a man out there. We're going to have an interference here. That's going to be a penalty on the Cubs. There's a second flag thrown back near the 40. Might be a pair of penalties on the Cubs on this play.
I'd say the interference call is a good one because the Cub defender was beat and he had to grab on to the Seneca receiver to keep him from catching it. So that was actually a good penalty because if he hadn't grabbed him, it might have been a touchdown.
We'll see if it's offsetting penalties or if they're both against the Cubs here. Looks like procedure against the Indians.
Wow. Are they going to step off both of them?
Nope.
Is that what they're doing?
That might have been a procedure that stopped the play. And why in the world, if it was maybe it was a legal formation.
I don't know what. I would think they would just call them offsetting penalties, but
well, but you know, sometimes that procedure should kill the play. You know, and
well,
I don't
but
know
then
why
they
it
blow
didn't.
the whistle. You know, if they don't blow the whistle, then the play would continue, I would think.
Yeah, we'll see when it is, mate. I think it's going to be a penalty on the Indians. It's going to be a 5-yarder, and the play should have been whistled. No, he's calling both, so it's offsetting.
Offsetting.
What was the procedure? Maybe a formation penalty, possibly.
Possibly. But it hurt them a whole lot worse than it hurt us. It was offsetting.
Well, we're back at 1st and 10 now for the Indians from the Cub 45. Lance Stevens will work out of the shotgun. Has one back to his right. Stevens back to pass with time now under pressure. Gets away, throws deep down the middle, has a man open at the 10, inside the 10 down to the 5, and that was Monty Males.
Trevon Price made the stop at that point, but the problem was that the Cub rushers went right by the Seneca quarterback, let him free up the middle, and he found the receiver. He had too much time by far.
First and goal from the 5. Stevens looking over the Cub defense. Takes the snap. He'll hand to his tailback running near side, and he spun down short of the goal line. That was Wilson with the run from the 5, and he's knocked down right there.
I believe that was Gunnar Bradley on the tackle. Yes, it was for the Cubs.
Second and goal from the 5. Clock rolling with 6.5 minutes left here before halftime. Stevens with split backs behind him. Working on a long count. Barking out a play change here. Takes the snap, drops the ball. Now hit in the backfield and dragged down for a loss. Once he dropped the snap, that play was really busted.
Yes, Ray Vialta came in and slammed him down. Should be a loss of a couple on the play. It ought to bring up third and about goal from about the 7.
That's what they have on the scoreboard. They're going to call a timeout here. The Indians want to talk it over. Third and goal from the 7. You know, the Indians, Leonard, shows some signs offensively. They throw the ball a little bit better than I expected coming in.
They have the ability to execute in a lot of different ways on offense. The Cubs have just been so tough defensively, but their quarterback can throw the ball, and they have some decent receivers. They've got good running backs, but our defensive line have just, for the most part, not let them get started. And that's important because Mayles, if he gets in the backfield, he's a shifty runner. He's liable to be gone. So
he really is a very good back and has been for a number of years down here at Seneca. 5:56 left here in the second quarter. A reminder that the second quarter brought to you by Cox Health Monett. Third down and goal from the 7. Seneca looking to get their first score of the night, down 20-0 against the Cubs.
Benji, what encourages me is that Junior Cavazos, he limped off after that good pass play he had earlier, and I was afraid he might not be able to come back, but he's back on the field and looks like he's full speed. I guess he just had a little ding at the time, so it's good to see him back out there. He's a very important defensive halfback.
Yes, he is. So here come the Indians now on third and goal. They come out with no quarterback here. It looks like the Wildcat. And here is the tailback into the end zone for the score. That is Monty Mayles. Mayles scores from 7 yards out. And the Indians on the scoreboard at the 5:51 mark of the second quarter. Mayles scores from 7 yards out on a direct snap. The PAT upcoming for Seneca. Snap back, ball down. The kick is no good as it was blocked.
That's Jamie Gwynn, I believe, shot through there and got the ball before it even got off the tee almost.
Yeah, he darn near kicked Jamie that time.
Yes,
he got back there so
I think
quick.
he did.
So Gwynn with the PAT block, and the Cubs lead stays at 14. It's 20-6 with 5:51 left in the first half. Gwynn trying to shake it off here right in front of us as he really took one for the team there. I think he was kicked right in the shin, in fact. He got back there so fast. So the Indians put together a drive. Big play in that one, a broken play.
And they let us know that this game is not over by a long shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of ball left to be played here. Both teams back out on the field, so we're ready for action here again at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, home of the Indians. Back deep, Cavazos and Unfleet. Armstrong to kick it away for Seneca. Has it teed up at the 40. And the kick in the air is a line drive kick that is scooped up at the 20 and just downed at about the 24. So that's where the Cubs will take over 1st and 10.
That was received by number 15 for the Cubs. I guess that is Kai Bouchard. He's been injured, and I guess he was back out there. It was a play where he could have picked the ball up and run for at least 10 yards, but for some reason he chose to go down. Maybe because that he's been injured, that he didn't expect to return the ball and didn't want to be hit. I'm not sure.
At the 24, here come the Cubs. Dive play off left guard. Majors pounding across the 25 and out near the 27, I believe. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
For the Indians, Zach Cox and Skylar Commons on the stop.
Ball to Cub 27, 2nd down and 7.
Benji, there's just enough time for a good, steady drive down to score right before half if the Cubs can maintain possession.
That's the goal here. Brink will pitch it near side. That's Gwynn, busts it out to the 30 and it's wrapped up at about the 35. He'll be close to a 1st down.
Thrown out of bounds by number 21. That is Zane Cotton.
It will be enough for a 1st down.
Definitely enough for a 1st down for the Cubs.
Cubs' 7th 1st down of the contest, and each 1st down sponsored by Crown Power of Equipment north of Monett on H Highway. Clock stopped with 5:02 left here in the 2nd quarter. The Cubs with it 1st and 10 at the 35. Carter Brink drops the snap again. A flag comes out late here. The Indians have the turnover. We'll see what the flag is all about. The Indians did recover the errant snap.
The Cubs are not accustomed to having fumble snaps. And that's the 2nd one of the night, so that's puzzling.
The officials huddling at the 35. Yeah, we're going to see what this is all about here. It's a penalty on the Cubs for a chop block. So the turnover will stand, I would assume.
That took a long time to call that. There was more involved than what we see.
They'll decline that surely.
Okay, there's one of those mistakes that we were talking about the Cubs did not need to make. Let's see if they can rise to the occasion now and stop the Indians.
The turnover will give the ball to the Indians at the 4:58 mark. And they have it at the Cub 35-yard line. It's not quite enough area here for me to spread out here as I look at Jacob Sampson into the lineup. And he'll line up as a tight end on the left side. Stevens will work under center. He takes the snap. He gives on a dive play off right guard. I believe that was Males again. Males pounding it down to about the 33 for a gain of 2.
Vialta on the stop for the Cubs. 2nd and 8.
Whistles stop this play. Timeout on the field taken by the Indians. We'll keep it right here and reset things. The Cubs on top 20-6. They got out to a 20-0 lead. The Indians scored just moments ago. The Cubs have turned it over. And the Indians have it inside the 35, looking to draw a little bit closer here before halftime. Game started with a bang, Leonard, an 85-yard touchdown return by Umfleet. An electrifying play to start this one, and the Cubs had a lot of momentum early.
They really did, and they played it flawlessly through the first quarter. Here in the second quarter, though, they've started making some mistakes, allowing the Indians to get some momentum and get back in the game. So we'd said the Cubs had just enough time to go down the field and score before halftime. Well, they turned the ball over instead of doing that. And Indians have plenty of time now to score before halftime.
So after the timeout, the Indians have it 2nd down and 8 from the 33-yard line. Lance Stevens, the junior quarterback, will work under center. Takes the snap, he gives to the second man through, who's hit and dropped immediately. Trey Wilson goes for little or no gain.
Great job by Ray Villalta. He shot by his blocker, got to the ball carrier before he could build up any kind of momentum, and no gain on the play. 3rd and 7 for the Indians.
From the 33-yard line, Stevens takes the snap, back to pass, throws near side. The pass is caught, and it'll be close to a 1st down.
Nice play and a good catch by the Indians, and it is a 1st and 10. Trevon Price was there to make the stop, but he couldn't prevent the completion. So it's a 1st and 10 for the Indians, a big play on 3rd down to keep their drive alive. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the Cubs' 22-yard line.
Ball caught by Dathan Long, his first catch of the night, a gain of 11. The Indians have their 6th first down of the contest. 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Indians have it at the Cub 23. Quarterback calling his own number with running room, stumbling inside the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Indians. 23-yard run by the quarterback Lance Stevens.
That completely fooled me. I thought they had fumbled the ball.
Stevens from 23 yards out. And the Indians get to within 8. It's 20-12. And it looks like they're going to keep their offensive unit on the field. Going for 2 here. Their first PAT was blocked, so they'll go for 2 here. 3:52 left here in the second quarter. And they'll go with a Wildcat here. Direct snap to a tailback going forward, and I believe he is into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. That was Monty Males with the 2-point conversion. So with 3:52 left here in the second quarter, the Indians with the momentum as they draw closer. It's 20-14. And now it's time for the Cubs to regroup. They got off to an early lead, 20-0, and a pair of touchdowns from Seneca, and we have ourselves a ball game here as we approach intermission.
Yes, we knew the Indians weren't going to roll over and play dead, so they have gotten their ship righted and they're playing wills. But again, that was set up by a Cub mistake, a turnover that gave them the ball fairly deep in Cub territory. Benji, I'm concerned whenever they go into that Wildcat look, come close to stopping the ball carrier. Even on that 2-point conversion there, Males ran it in from that. So.
I know, you know, like I said, it's a Wildcat form. That's one of the first things they say. It's a direct snap to a tailback. Here's a kickoff, a low liner angling to the far sideline, and it goes out of bounds, so the Cubs will take over at the 35-yard line. So a break there for the Cubs as the kickoff went out of bounds. Cubs will have good field position here with 3:52. Still plenty of time for the Cubs to put a drive together.
Even if the Cubs don't score before half, it's important for them to run out the clock and not give Seneca another opportunity in this half.
Cubs will come out with a wide receiver split left and right. Tailback is Majors. Wings are Umfleet and Gwynn. Brink under center. Draws the defense offside there. He went on a long count, and one of the defensive linemen on the near side jumped.
Right.
But the near side official didn't throw the flag. It took the other side to throw the flag. It's a 5-yard penalty. The first penalty whistled against the Indians, or actually the first accepted penalty. 1st and 5 for the Cubs from the 40. Brink will run the option. He pitches it late, and Gwynn's in a peck of trouble there. He's able to gain a yard. It looked like he's going to be thrown for a loss. He was able to squeeze out 1 yard, bringing up 2nd and 4.
Number 2, that's Dylan Myers, and number 54, Skylar Commons, did a great job of tackling, and their whole defense did a good job of containing the outside and not letting Jamie Gwynn turn it upfield. So it's going to bring up 2nd at about 4 for the Cubs.
From the 41-yard line, Cubs need to get to the 45. Clock rolls with 3:10 left here before halftime. Brink back to pass. Flush from the pocket. Still with it. He throws it late, and it's knocked out of bounds as Monty Males slapped it down with the left hand. Brings up 3rd and 4.
Carter did a good job of getting rid of the ball. He was under duress, about to be sacked. He was on his back foot and didn't really have the leverage to throw, so he just threw it out of bounds intentionally to keep from losing that yardage.
And Miles Lanning was in the area, so the pass intended for Miles. 3rd down and 4. Brink throwing near side. Carvazos with a catch, and it'll be enough for a 1st down.
Great play by the Cubs. Number 28, that is Monty Males on the tackle for the Indians, but good for 1st and 10 for the Cubs, with the ball now resting at about their own 48-yard line.
Big 1st down for the Cubs there to keep the drive going. Clock rolls with 2:40 left here before halftime. Cubs on top 20-14. Brink under center. Takes the snap. He'll keep it himself. Still with it. Stutter steps to the 45, to the 40, and finally run out of bounds, and that may be enough for another Cub 1st down.
Knocked out of bounds by Ethan Fritchie and Preston Armstrong. But you're right, a good gain for Carter Brink, resulting in a 1st and 10 for the Cubs, with the ball now in Seneca territory at the Seneca 40.
Gain of 12 yards on the play. Clock stopped with 2:23 left in the 2nd quarter. Play clock inside 5 seconds, so the Cubs are going to have to hurry here. Brink takes the snap. He'll pitch near side Gwynn, stretching the play out to the 40, to the 35, and run out of bounds after a gain of nearly 7 yards.
He was almost run into the stands there by number 21, Zane Cotton, but the edge of the field is only about 12 feet or so to the bleachers.
It absolutely is. It's really tight on this sideline. Gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. And the Cubs still with plenty of time, 2:16 left before halftime. Carter Brink brings Umfleet in motion. He hands to Majors, off left guard, and Majors is down to about the 30. Let's see where they put him down. At the 31 for a gain of 2.
Ethan Fritchie on the stop there. The Monett stands were yelling something. I think there was a face mask involved in that tackle that was not called.
Clock rolls with 1:45 left here before halftime. Cubs face 3rd down and a short yard from the 31. Brink under center, takes the snap, back to pass, flips it back to Gwynn. Gwynn right side has a first down, is able to get down to a 20. That was actually a lateral, so we'll count that as a run from the 31-yard line down to about the 20 for a gain of 11.
Mayles on the stop there with a hard tackle. That was a gutsy play. It's 3rd and 1. They could have run my old dependable and picked up the first, but they decided not to. And a Seneca defender got awfully close to that ball, too.
But good touch, and he led Gwynn just perfectly there so he could cut it upfield. Brink under center from the 20. Back to pass, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted by the Indians.
Now, number 33 for the Indians, that is Preston Armstrong on the interception. And another big mistake for the Cubs here in the first half. After a flawless first quarter, they had a mistake-filled second quarter.
And a good defensive effort there by the defensive back, Armstrong, as he stepped in front of the slant pattern.
Right.
It looked like from our vantage point that it could have been a completion, but at the last second he stepped in and intercepted it. And went down to the ground, slipped down after he intercepted it, so it'll be 1st and 10 Indians from their own 11-yard line. They have 62 seconds to work with. Stevens will work under center, takes the snap, he's back to pass, looks left, throws left, the pass caught out around the 20 to the 23, and down he goes there, but it'll be enough for a first down.
Gunnar Bradley and Junior Villa on the stop.
Gain of 13 and a first down to Dathan Long. Clock rolling at 45 seconds left. Stevens will work out of the shotgun, straight back, looks to the right, flush, now throws near side, that's Long again, and he'll have a first down and more as he steps out near the 40-yard line.
Finally pushed out of bounds by Trevon Price. Another 1st and 10 for the Indians. Cubs are having trouble getting to the Seneca quarterback. He's got a lot of time to find a receiver.
1st and 10 Indians from their own 40. Stevens out of the shotgun, back to pass, throws to the right, and a diving catch by Long for a gain of 11.
What a tremendous play on the part of the Seneca receiver. There is a flag on the play. Back here in the Seneca backfield, I think maybe there will be holding, but we shall see.
Yeah, this one may come back. Boy, that was a great effort by Long to make
unbelievable. He just laid out and caught the ball like a center fielder diving for a baseball or something and caught it. But it's all going to be wiped out by a penalty. But that was a tremendous effort on the part of Dathan Long.
Flag thrown at the 32, so a spot infraction there, a 10-yard penalty on the Indians. Will move it back to the 22 with 27 seconds left here before halftime. Cubs need to be ready for some sort of trick play here. I could see a hook and ladder. I could see
a double pass.
Yes, you could see something like that. So the Cubs need to make sure that the D-backs are the deepest players on the field here. No one gets behind them. Stevens will work out of the shotgun, back to pass. Looks to the right, throws to the right. Bubble screen set up there. And the Cubs are there in a hurry to knock down the receiver. That was Simpson with the reception.
Cole Davis and Brandon Majors in on the stop. Majors is in on defense right now, along with a couple other people. There were 5 or 6 Cubs got a piece of that tackle. That could have been a double pass situation. I'm not sure. He caught it behind the line of scrimmage, and it was a bubble screen.
Yep.
But it's possible to throw it out there if he's behind the line and he passed it downfield too. So
Well, the Indians down to 12 seconds left and no timeouts. So with the ball at their own,
they're going to have to
20
do something desperate
Yeah.
if they want to score.
Yeah, ball resting at their own 27. Time for a couple of plays. Of course, a half cannot end on a defensive penalty.
Carter Brinks out there on the defense also, along with Brandon Majors. So two of the offensive specialists are playing defense in this situation to try to be sure that nothing happens.
Yeah, 4 D-backs standing at the 45, so they're 20 yards deep. No one gets behind them here on 2nd and long. 2nd and 23. Back to pass. Quarterback lets it fly deep down the right side, and this one is going to be knocked down incomplete.
Actually, he was behind us, but the pass was underthrown. Junior Cavazos got to the ball before the receiver, but their receiver, Dathan Long, was actually behind our defense, and that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, Dathan showing some good speed there as they were running side by side, but the last few strides he pulled ahead. 3rd down, what should be the final play of the half. Stevens will work under center this time, and he'll give on a dive play right up the middle with running rooms as Males. Males still on his feet and gets out to about the 48 for a gain of 21, and that will take us to halftime. Males doubles his yard output here on the final play. We have reached halftime at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Our score at intermission, the Monett Cubs 20, the Seneca Indians 14. We'll slip away here from some of our outstanding sponsors, and we'll be back to take a look at the halftime scoring summary after this timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first part of tonight's halftime entertainment will be your 2019 and 2020 brand new Seneca Indianettes dance team. With members Captain Marley Beal, Sr., Junior Stephanie Silverman, sophomores Regan Burr, Lacey Connolly, Jasmine Coronado, Sequoia Gill, Kaylee Heckert, Grace Earhart, freshman Jory Todd, and coaches Tasha and Morgan Allen.
Jealous, the hustle 'cause I'm killing all day. I be flexing my muscles, I don't care what they say.
A pause here at halftime and catching their collective breath here before they start the third quarter, because there was a lot of action in that first half.
Yes, there was. There was a lot of hard hitting.
We get ready for the third quarter. We approach the 8:30 hour, and a reminder that approach the third quarter. Remind you that it is being brought to you by Arvest Bank. Arvest Bank is committed to Monett and is here to support the community. Local decisions, local commitment. Arvest Bank, member FDIC. Kickoff upcoming, brought to you by Home Shield Pest Control. With over 20 years of industry experience, Home Shield can tackle any unwanted insect or pest with an affordable, safe, and effective method. Be sure to call Daniel Vineyard at 772-4177. Well, I wonder who won our halftime giveaway. We'll see if I have any word on that before we get going here. Nope, don't know yet. So we'll pass that along once we do. All our listeners, the Cubs back out on the field. They're in their traveling whites with purple pants. Seneca now on pants, and we are ready for third quarter action. It was nice to find a seat for a few minutes.
Right, but now we better.
Here we go. The Cubs and the Indians ready for second. Along here from Seneca High School. Umfleet has it teed up, and we are underway here in the third quarter. A kick that comes down at the 20, scooped up at the 16. Return up the middle to about the 25. Good coverage there for the Cubs.
Even Madrid in on the stop for the Cubs. Good coverage by the Indians are going to start this drive from their 20.
So now it's all about momentum. Who grabbed? Lance Stevens, the junior quarterback, looks over the defense. Monett in there with 4 down linemen. Stevens takes and gives on it. No, he keeps it himself. He faked the dive play and then is hit at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up second down and long.
Cub defended to hand off, but really couldn't because they were just.
Stevens out of the shotgun, has time, now scrambles, and he's knocked down for a sack.
Well, that's Larry Gutierrez that hit the quarterback and knocked him down.
3rd and 15 from the 20-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Stevens will pitch it, looking to set up a pass, wide open, and it's incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver, Armstrong, and that would have went for 6.
Yes, I saw their 8th grade team pull that against our 8th grade last Thursday. So exact same play. I mentioned double pass. You answered there before halftime, and that's the exact play, and we were suckers for it. If it had been a good pass, it was a touchdown.
It was a pitch to the tailback, and then the wide receiver ran right. Booming kick, fair catch called for and received at the Cub 48-yard line.
Good catch there by Junior Cavazos. It's important that he caught that ball. It was a high punt, but it might have bounced 10 yards as he did. He was under pressure, but he caught. Cubs start the first drive of the second half at their own 49-yard line.
What a big play by Gutierrez on that advantage. 10.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Monett with it at their own 48. Dragging one would-be tackler ahead in gain of nearly 4 yards.
He was dragging number 78. That is Zach Cox. And Cox got some help and finally got him down. Cox was hanging on to his shirt tail as Majors went forward. I'm going to predict that Majors will be a bigger factor in this half than he was the other half. Let's see if that works.
Second down and 6 from the Indian 48-yard line. Brink takes the snap. He'll run the option. He pitches it to Gwynn. He cuts it up and is hit down after a gain of a couple as he gets it down to the 45-yard line.
Dathan Long and Monty Mayos on the stop for the Indians.
Big third down play here early in the third quarter.
3rd and 4 for the Cubs.
The ball resting at the Indian 46-yard line. Play coming in from the sideline. And the Cubs come to the line of scrimmage here. Receiver wide left and right. Brink will work under center. Takes the snap. He gives on a dive to Brandon Majors, and Majors hits the line hard, but he's knocked down short of the first down.
It's going to be 4th and short yardage. Number 78, Zach Cox, was in on the stop. Going to be 4th and 1 for the Cubs.
Okay, running the ball like that tells you they're going to go for it on 4th down. They knew they were in 4-down territory right here, and Coach Yule's going to go for it, I believe, here on 4th and 1.
I have no doubt that Carter Brink can pick up that first down.
He's going to call a timeout right here. I don't know. That's a long yard, Leonard.
On the field, it looks longer than looking from the yard marker to the down marker.
Yeah, but I don't trust these guys.
You're right there.
I tell you what, you just never know. Well, it's 4th and 1. The Cubs call a timeout here. A big early play here in the second half. 9:16 left here in the third quarter. Monett on top 20-14, and it appears that they'll keep their offensive unit on there, and I like the call.
They might just go on a long count and see if they can get the Indians to jump, too.
Good call.
And then if they don't jump, they might, punt the ball, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. Over the years, Coach Yule's been quite a gambler.
He has that. You have to give him credit for being a gambler, no doubt about it. Back in the state championship year, he took some chances that I don't know if any coaches would have taken, but they paid off.
Well, I think he just had a word with the official down here, and he said he's probably working on a long count. Let's watch. Well, here come the Cubs to the line of scrimmage. 4th down and a yard.
Didn't jump the first time.
Brink under center, quarterback keeper up the middle he goes. And this will depend on the spot. Cubs say they have it. The Indian fans say they don't.
I think he was pushed back. I think he got further than where they're spotting it, actually.
Oh, they got a terrible spot. That's an absolutely terrible spot.
Worse than terrible. That's horrendous. He was 2 yards beyond where they spotted the ball.
My goodness. That is a horrendous.
Absolutely unbelievable. Because he took the snap and took 2 steps forward and then got pushed back.
And they actually marked him with a loss there. That was neither a right foot or a left foot spot. That was just
yeah, that's he's nowhere close the way where they spotted it. But you're right, that was a horrendous spot. The only problem is he didn't get down, and then when they pushed him back, they spotted it where they pushed him back to, not where he had gotten to.
They definitely did not give him his forward progress.
Right. We call him the way we see him, but that's the way it was.
Yeah. Oh, Coach Yule not happy about it either. That was creative. Now it's up to the Cubs defense to rise up again. 1st and 10 Indians at their own 43. Mark that play down in your memory bank. Stevens will work under center. He'll give on the dive to the second man through. Breaks a tackle and then is slammed down. That was Mayles with a good hard run and a gain of about 5.
Mayles flipped off of a number of would-be tacklers. Finally slammed down by Larry Gutierrez.
And he's hurt, Leonard. Mayles has come up gimpy here.
He was really hit hard by Larry Gutierrez and knocked off his feet.
Now he's being helped to the sideline. Looks like he's able to put a little more weight on the leg, and I think he's going to be okay. But 5 when we resume action.
I'm not sure he's not just a little dazed, Benji, because Gutierrez hit him hard and just knocked him backwards hard onto the ground. He may have injured a leg, but I think he was just woozy possibly.
You might be right, Leonard. We'll see if he returns. 2nd down and 5 from the Indian 48-yard line. Stevens will work under center. Takes the snap, gives second man through, who's hit near the line of scrimmage. That was Graham. Graham picks up a yard.
Number 17 for the Cubs, that's Tanner Wright, and number 24, Cole Davis on the stop. A good defensive play there by the Cubs. 3rd and a long 3 for the Indians.
3rd down for the Indians, big play here. Stevens will work on a long count here. Takes the snap, gives on a dive play up the middle, and Indians will be short of the 1st down. Again, that was Graham, and a noticeable difference between his running and Mayles without question.
Better see where they spotted. He may have it. I guarantee you they spotted him beyond where he got to.
Oh, my goodness. He was not to the 50-yard line,
No.
and they've spotted him at the Cub 49.
This spotting is getting to be serious. It's
4th down and 2. They'll go for it here. The ball at the Cub 49. Get to about the Cub 47. 4th down, the Indians will go for it here. Big play for the Cub defense. Lance Stevens, the junior quarterback, takes the snap. He'll give to his back. He breaks a tackle into the backfield. He might go the distance. Touchdown, Indians.
Cubs hit him at the line of scrimmage but didn't wrap up. He rolled off the first tackle and then broke free for the touchdown.
49-yard touchdown for Trey Wilson, and we're tied at 20. A big 4th down conversion. And the Indians will go for 2 here, I'm sure, to try to take their first lead of the night. 7:05 left here in the 3rd quarter. Indians come out in the Wildcat look. Pass over the middle is good for the 2-point conversion. Actually, that was the quarterback, Stevens. Stevens' 2-point conversion to Long, and Seneca on top, 22-20.
Dathan Long on the reception again.
It was for a 2-point conversion. And now it's gut check time for the Cubs as they trail at 22-20. Stevens faked it to Wilson and found Long in the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Congratulations to Garrett Smith. Garrett Smith is tonight's winner of our giveaway, so congratulations to him. Well, Leonard?
Yes, we got a gut check for sure for the Monett Cubs. The Indians have scored 22 straight points. 21 straight points, I mean.
Nope.
No team has scored more than that on the Cubs this year.
Yeah. They're up 22-20. Here's an onside kick that is recovered by the Cubs. Deja vu all over again, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We shall see, but they sure gave the Cubs good field position. And let's see if the Cubs can come out and reestablish their running game here.
For those of you who are just joining us, I mentioned the last time we were, well, in 2016, the Cubs fell behind in the second half, and the Indians tried an onside kick that did not work, and the Cubs took advantage of it. So we'll see if that happens again here. Cubs have great field position at their own 48-yard line. Brink will take the snap, misdirection, comes near side. That is Umfleet. Umfleet run out of bounds and continues to struggle out of bounds. He'll pick up about 4 yards on the play.
Number 33, that is Preston Armstrong on the stop for the Indians. A good hard run by Umfleet, but only a gain of about 4 on the play. The Indians' defense is definitely stiffened from the first quarter.
They're cheating up to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if Brink will go to the air here shortly. Here's a handoff to Majors, who was stood up early and then regained momentum, dives down to about the 44 for a gain of 2.
54 and 78 on the stop, Zach Cox, and actually Skylar Common sort of knocked Brink into Brandon Majors and sort of messed up the fluidity of that play. And it's going to bring up 3rd and a long 2 or a short 3 for the Cubs.
Dylan Lynch wide to the near side. Keep your eye on him here. Brink will pitch it to Gwynn. Gwynn with room. He'll have the first down and more as he dives down inside the 35.
Finally dragged down by Monty Males. So we know Males wasn't hurt too bad, but he's really coming up limping this time.
Is he?
Yes, he can barely hobble now. So he's going off the field again, but he's so tough he'll probably be back out there in a couple more plays.
First down for the Cubs, 11th of the contest. Down by 2 now. They are looking to get the lead back. 1st and 10 Cubs from the Indian 3rd will give to Brandon Majors right outside the 30, down near the 29. That should be enough for a 5-yard gain.
Dylan Myers and Skylar Commons on the stop for the Indians. That was a better looking initial run for the Cubs. Majors picked up a 4 yards and did it with some authority there. So let's see if the Cubs can keep that going.
2nd down and 5 for Monett. 5:20 left here in the 3rd quarter. Seneca on top, 22-20. Brink under center. Jet sweep near side with running room to the 20, to the 15. I believe that was Umfleet with the ring.
Yes.
And he's got a first down for the Cubs as they get into the JMB red zone.
Preston Armstrong and a couple of by Ethan Umfleet sets the Cubs up in good field position now inside the 17 of the Indians.
5 minutes left, 3rd quarter action. Seneca on top from the 14. Umfleet with a 2-point conversion, and the Cubs lead at 28. Methodically move it down the onside kick.
Right.
So they took advantage of great field position to regain the lead. I did not think I would see another onside 2016, but
I believe this is
I think
it's different.
McFarland's in his 2nd year here, but interesting.
Oh, what a ball game.
Yeah, it's a ball game. Cubs race to a 20-point lead. Umfleet to kick it away. I don't think we'll see an onside kick here, Leonard. Umfleet boots 20, scooped up at the 14. Out to the left side. Good coverage for the Cubs. The Indians will take over just outside their own 30.
Number 20 and number 41, and I forgot to go find his name, was 41 was in on it again. He's always around the ball on the kickoffs. That's good. And I still don't know who he is.
Well, he's wearing number 40 on his helmet, Leonard. That might be a clue.
Well, if that's the case, then number 40, I wondered about that.
Yeah.
Number 40 is Stuart Weltis, and that very well be.
That
I
is
bet
it.
that is Stuart.
Here come the Indians on 1st and 10. Dive play is given to Wilson, and he stood up after a after a gain. I never know where they're going to spot it.
Predict. Ray Vialta and Gutter Bradley on the stop, but we never know where they're going to spot it these days. Whew. Looks like he gained about a yard on the play.
So we'll call it 2nd down and 9 for now.
I don't have any question with their spots except on that first, on that 4th down play.
Yep. 2nd down and 9 from the 32-yard line. Lance Stevens will work under center this time. He takes the snap, and will give on a dive play. Again, that is Wilson, and Wilson struggling for yards to 71 yards tonight. Third down and from the Indian 39. The quarterback Stevens will work out of the shotgun, empties the backfield. He flips it out here to the near side. The Cubs defense there to make the hit, but it may be enough for a first down.
Jamie Gwynn on the stop, but not until the Indians had picked up about 3 yards, enough for 1st and 10. First and 10 from the Indian 42.
They emptied the backfield, flooded the right side, and used the 3 receivers as blockers as the back was able to pick up the yards.
Cubs really covered it pretty well, but they didn't need very much yardage.
From the 42-yard line, Stevens working under center will give to Graham.
Jamie Gwynn took Graham down.
Yeah, look at that spot, Leonard.
Yeah, you're right. Gwynn stopped him at about the line of scrimmage, and he gained 2 yards.
And I think the folks
notice those spots.
I'll tell you what, he was knocked down near the line of scrimmage, and it's now second.
He ran past the yard marker, so it had to be the end of the marker, so it had to be a first down.
Has to be, and it is a first down, brought to you by Crown Power and Equipment. Cubs, clock stop. Cubs on top 28-22, looking for more here as they have it at the Indian 37-yard line. Carter Brink with a wishbone
and
look.
Fumble.
Ball fumbled.
Picked up by Umfleet, and he then is slammed down by number 78, Zach Cox. That was dangerous. Umfleet did a good job of picking the ball up and trying to advance it, but Zach Cox was there to stop his forward progress. A loss of about 3 on the play, 2nd and 13 for the Cubs.
Start here as we approach the 9-minute mark. 2nd down and scoreboard says 2nd and 15. We'll call it 2nd and 14. How about that? You said 2nd and 13? I'll say 2nd and 14. They say from the 42, we'll say from the 41. Brink will go back to pass. He has time, throws deep,
long, I'm afraid,
throws, and it's intercepted.
Intercepted.
Intercepted at the 15-yard line.
What a great, I think he intercepted the other one.
He did.
And Brink just sort of throws the ball where he thinks his receiver's gonna be, and his receiver was there, but Armstrong was there too, and Armstrong went up a little bit higher and pulled it in.
Good play on defense there by Armstrong.
Yes, it was.
And a deep pass that's intercepted at the 15-yard line, so the Indians have to traverse 85 yards here. First will work under center. Back to pass. Lance looking right, throwing right. It is dropped on the far sideline as it was intended for Simpson, and it falls incomplete.
Almost complete, but just off the receiver. I'm not sure who the defender was. Yes, it was Junior Cavazos, I believe, on the defensive play there.
Brings up 2nd down and 10 and stops the clock with 8:36 left. A lot of ball left in this one. Junior audibles at the line of scrimmage and gives on a dive play, and a Cub defense there to knock down Trey Wilson after a short gain.
Good job by I believe it was Junior Villa on the stop there.
15-yard line. Big play here for the He takes the snap, gives on a dive play, and a gain out across the 20, but it'll be short of the first down. That was Graham with the carry.
Junior Villa and Cole Davis on the stop there, and it's going to bring up a punting situation. 4th and about 4. Deep in their territory.
Well, we'll watch this. Remember, their punter is also their quarterback.
Right.
Line of scrimmage is the 21. Snap back is a good one. The kick away is a high, towering kick. Fair catch called for and received at the 50. So the Cubs will have it there after a 29-yard punt.
Once again, a good, safe, fair catch by Junior Cavazos. and puts the Cubs in good position, 1st and 10 at midfield.
If this was a Kansas City Chief radio broadcast, would to put the hammer down.
It is time to put the hammer down, whether it's a Chiefs broadcast or not.
Really do big damage here if they can, for the Cubs. Misdirection to Umfleet, running left side to the 45, and is knocked down as he gets to about the 44. A gain of 6, maybe 7 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Number 21, that Zane Cotton, made a great tackle there. Otherwise, Umfleet might have popped that one. Umfleet picked up good yardage.
Gain of nearly 7 yards. 2nd down and a long 3. We'll say it's at the 44-yard line. Well, we'll say 43-yard line here.
Right, it was a gain of about 7 in spite of what the announcer said over there. He said 6.
2nd down, long 3. Carter Brink takes the snap, gives to Majors. He'll have the 1st down as he powers his way inside the 40-yard line.
Number 6, Levi Ketchum, and number 21, Zane Cotton on the stop for the Indians. But once again, Brandon Majors running hard, picks up the 1st and 10 for the Cubs. So the Cubs just needs to be relentless and drive this one into the end zone.
Clock rolls at 6:12 left, 4th quarter.
We don't want any more fumble snaps from center.
We do not. Cubs come out with a wide receiver wide to the left, one wide to the near sideline as well. Majors lone back. Now motion to Umfleet. Dive play. Majors with room to the 30, 20, 10, 5, and down just short of the goal line.
What a great run by Majors. Brought down there by Zane Cotton, just short of the goal line. I thought sure he was going to be in, but Cotton did a great job of catching up.
Gain of 36 yards down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal Cubs as they hit the red zone. Brought to you by J&B Trucking Company of Cassville. When you need to deliver results, call J&B at 847-1307. And the Cubs need to deliver results here. 1st and goal from the 2 with a chance to expand their lead. Brink under center, takes it, gives it to Majors. Up the middle he goes. Wait for the signal.
Not in.
Not yet, not in. A gain of a yard. Majors now
2nd and goal from the 1.
Majors now with 101 yards tonight on 20 carries, so he's averaging 5 a pop, and the Cubs need one more here. They say still at the 2.
They don't know.
Yeah, we'll say 1st and goal from the 1. Brink to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback sneak. He loses the ball. Leonard, he lost the ball.
Well, Seneca's
Touchdown, Cubs. He lost the ball, but he jumped on top of it in the end zone for the score. Brink from 1 yard out, and the Cubs expand their lead. It's now, well, we wait for him to add the points, 34-22. And I wonder why the Cubs wouldn't go for 2 here to go up 14, but they bring in the PAT. Umfleet on to attempt the kick. Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's high enough, it's long enough, and it is good. 4:46 left here in the 4th quarter. Monett 35, Seneca 22. A reminder that all Cubs touchdowns brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. If you need an extra point or 2 from a trusted lawyer, call Randall, Mastery, and Randall at 235-8688. The extra point brought to you by Monett Cubs. For the Monett Cubs, brought to you by Monett Glass and Mirror. If it shatters, it matters at Monett Glass and Mirror. So the Cubs answer with a pair of touchdowns. They lead at 35-22 with 4:46 left.
Oh, that feels good, Benji. I don't think he lost the ball, Benji. I think he was just getting down.
Leonard, I'm telling you, he dropped the ball.
Maybe he did.
He dropped the ball.
But he came up with it at the end. That's what matters.
Yeah, it was a touchdown as they unpiled. And the Cubs on top. And if I'm wrong, I'm all right with that. It's a touchdown.
Seneca didn't react as if he had dropped the ball.
One of their players did. One of their players did. First, the kickoff in the air, angled to the far side, caught at about the 25. The return up the middle to the 30 and to about the 31. So that's where the Indians will have it.
Tackled there by number 21. That is Corbin McCulley on the stop for the Cubs. I hadn't mentioned Corbin's name previously tonight.
Big hit there, though. 1st and 10 for the Indians as they have it at their own 31. And now they're going to air it out here a lot. They're in a hurry-up mode for sure. Stevens will work out of the shotgun. Jet sweep to the right side. That's Males again.
Males,
He's back
yes.
in as he's able to run it out near the 40-yard line.
Brought down there by Jamie Gwynn.
We'll see where they spot him down at. It should be enough for a first down, but they haven't moved the markers yet.
Tanner Wright was
First
also in
down.
on that last tackle.
Gain of 10 and a first down for the Indians. These guys need to get with it. Let's go, chain gang, let's go. There we go, it's 1st and 10 from the 41. Back to pass Stevens with time, throws right, has long, first down Indians. And the Cubs wrap him up at their own 45.
Cole Davis and Junior Cavazos on the stop, but an excellent play by the Indians, gaining another 1st and 10. 44-yard line.
Gain of 15 and a first down, 4:20 left here in the 4th quarter. Stevens out of the shotgun, takes the snap, running the room. He might go the distance to the 20, to the like that there, back in it. And the Indians draw close, 35-28. And they bring their PAT unit on to try to get it to within 6. Boy, it's never over at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. And this has turned into a shootout here. PAT upcoming. Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's partially blocked again, and it's no good. So the score remains Monett 35, Seneca 28. (35-28) our score. And 37 seconds. That was quick.
Yes.
4 plays, I
think we'll see an onside kick here?
I don't think so now. Might see one of those in-between kicks, like a pooch kick that comes down to about the 30.
I'd sure have that hands team.
I tell you what, I see one coming down at about the 30-yard line here, Leonard. But there's a bunch of hands players in there. Take a look. You don't see a lot of big guys in there to block. 4:09 left here in the 4th quarter.
Not going to go 10 yards. So the Cubs are going to have good field position at the Indians' 46-yard line.
I don't understand that, Leonard. I disagree.
Well, I think they felt like if the Cubs got the ball, they would not get it back. And I understand the idea, but the execution was pitiful.
But Leonard, you got 3 timeouts left. 4 now. Cubs have great field position.
Punted tonight, have they?
They have not.
Yes, hope not.
1st and 10 Cubs at the 46. Brink under center. Will give to Majors. Majors hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks a tackle, and gets forward to the 45 for a gain of a yard.
Number 2, Dylan Myers, and number 21, Zane Cotton on the stop. Majors hit a wall and tried to bounce it outside, and the Seneca defense would not be denied. They refused to let him do that. So 2nd and 9 for the Cubs.
And we'd like to apologize to our viewers tonight. We're having trouble with the internet connection down here at Seneca. We'll continue to broadcast it via the radio waves tonight. 2nd and 9 for the Cubs from the 45. The clock rolling with 3:20 left. Here's a sweep to Umfleet, left side, stood up and knocked down after a gain of a couple.
Zane Cotton on the stop for the Indians. The Indians played that well. Umfleet was running hard, but he couldn't find a hole to get through. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 6 or a short 7.
From the 43-yard line. Clock continues to roll inside 3 minutes left. Obviously the Cubs trying to milk as much clock as they can here. 3rd and 7. Brink under center, takes the snap, back to pass, throws late over the middle, and it's through the hands of his intended receiver, and it falls incomplete. A good throw there.
Well, it was behind him, though, Benji. It wasn't really a good throw. He had to turn back for it. Junior Cavazos was the intended receiver, and he got his hands on, but Cavazos was spinning backwards as he was trying to catch it. So
the Cubs will punt
They
tonight.
will punt tonight.
Umfleet will come in to kick it away. The line of scrimmage is the 43. And this game's going to rest on the shoulders of the defense, it appears. Umfleet standing at his own 45. Snap back is a good one. The kick away is a good one. Angling to the near sideline. Takes a neutral bounce and will come to rest at the 15-yard line. So a 28-yard punt, no return.
2:25 to go in the game. The Cubs with a 7-point lead. Seneca with 85 yards to go for a touchdown. It's going to get exciting before it's over.
Well, I think it's already exciting.
Yes.
Well, 85 yards to go in 2:25.
I was surprised by their last drive. I didn't expect that. I didn't think they could break off a long run like that, but they did.
Remember when I said at halftime, for the Cubs, they need somebody up front or somebody in the defensive backfield to make a play, and we're right there again. Out of the shotgun, Stevens takes the snap. He'll pitch it to his tailback running right. That's Wilson, and Wilson's knocked down after a short gain. Gain of 7 as they'll give him forward progress.
Jamie Gwynn on the stop for the Cubs.
Clock rolls as we approach 2 minutes. Remember, the Indians have 3 timeouts left. 2nd down and 4 after a gain of 6. Stevens back to pass. Has time, scrambles now, throws to the near side, and this one's going to be out of bounds, incomplete. Well, he threw that a long way, Leonard.
He did throw it a long way. Gunnar Bradley there on the defense, but the pass was overthrown. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Indians.
The incompletion stops the clock with 1:47 left. 3rd down and 4, as you said. On 3rd down, the Indians will come out in shotgun. Lance Stevens takes the snap, drops back, under pressure, throws near side, and it's through the hands of his intended receiver, incomplete.
Trayvon Price was there on the defense, and he would have tackled the receiver immediately, but the receiver let the ball go through his hands, so it's going to bring up 4th and about 4 for the Indians.
I'd say this is your ball game, but it's not yet because the Indians still have 3 timeouts in their pocket. But it would go a long way.
It would.
We'll stop here. 4th and 4. Keep in mind that Males is back in there. Males and Wilson.
They're way overloaded to this side, and we're not matched up with their deal.
And I think the Cubs call a timeout.
I believe our coaches saw that they had 4 guys out to this side, and we only had 3 defenders there.
So it would have been a power play for the Indians.
It could have been. Probably a bubble screen type affair.
Yep. Cubs do call a timeout here, and we'll keep it right here. Our score, 35-28. The Cubs on top by 7. Again, we apologize for those who are trying to catch this on Monett Web TV. Internet connection down here at Seneca has gone awry. I once broadcast one of the best games I've ever done as a broadcaster to nobody when we used to use a Marty back in the old days down here at Seneca. Didn't get out one word, but I tell you what, I did a heck of a job. I'm telling you the truth. Hopefully a few of our radio listeners are staying tuned with us. I hope they're still with us because this has been a heck of a ball game. Monett raced to a 20-point lead. The Indians came back to take a 2-point lead, and it's been back and forth. The Cubs on top 35-28. 4th down, 4 yards to go for the Indians at their own 21-yard line. They need to get to the 25. Lance Stevens will work out of the shotgun. Behind him is Wilson. Stevens takes the snap, running the option. It's Wilson. He's hit, and down he
hit and
goes.
wrapped. I believe that was Gunnar Bradley.
A loss on the play of 2 yards. And
the ball goes over to the Cubs.
It does, and the Cubs have it inside the 20, up by 7. The Indians with 2 timeouts left.
All we need to do is take a knee 4 times, I believe.
Well, I don't know if they can run it all the way out or not. I'm thinking Brandon Majors, a hard dose of him right here. Carter Brink will work under center. And he'll give to Majors, who breaks a tackle.
Get down,
forward.
Majors, get down.
And he did get down.
Don't
as
let
he
him
gets
take the ball away.
down to about the 11-yard line for a gain of 7 yards.
Dylan Myers and Zane Cotton on the stop for the Indians, and the Indians used one of their timeout. It was a tough run by Majors, but I always worried when he's standing up there, you know, going hard and they're scraping at the ball.
Okay.
But he's done a great job of not fumbling this year. I'll say that much.
Now here's something to think about. In this district competition, you earn points for victories, and you can earn up to 13 points for a victory.
But that's in district play.
No. This is important. Cubs lead by 7 right now. Another touchdown will give them additional points in that mathematical calculation.
You may be right. I thought that only applied in the district.
No, but it is.
Right.
So anytime you win by 13 or more, you know,
right.
you get those 13 points.
I knew
in there.
13 was the magic number.
Yeah.
I was thinking that only applied in district play, but that's for the district placement.
That's
You're right.
So a touchdown here would go a long ways to help the Cubs. So
it would.
We'll see what they do here on 2nd down and 3 from the 11. Here's a sweep.
Gwynn? Oh, no, it's
Umfleet?
Umfleet, or is it Gwynn?
Doesn't matter. This one's coming back. There were 2 Cubs in motion at the same time.
It was Gwynn, but you're right. There's a penalty on the play.
2 guys were in motion at the same time, and that's an illegal shift. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Cubs. It'll remain 2nd down, however. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 16. Not what the doctor ordered there. The Cubs would prefer to have short yardage situations. 2nd down and 8. 1:25 and the clock rolling now. Let it roll. Let it roll.
I'm not sure why it's rolling, but I like it.
Yeah.
I think all we need to do is take a knee and make them use that other timeout.
You might be right. Brink milking the clock as much as he can. He takes the snap, gives to Majors, and Majors able to get a yard or 2 down to about the 15. We'll give him a gain of 1. Timeout for the Indians as Majors gets it just inside the 15. Exactly 60 seconds left in this one, and the Indians have used their last timeout. The Cubs can't quite milk it all the way down here.
But they can get it down to 20 seconds. This year there's a new deal that after a play, the clock goes to 40 seconds. It's not a 25-second clock anymore.
Right.
They used to wait till the ball was ready and start the 20. Now it's 40. So if they run the ball, there's going to be 40 seconds at least run off before they have to run another play.
Yep.
So,
and then you run a third down play, you run your fourth down play, you're probably down to about 10 seconds left.
right.
We'll see.
We'll see, but I feel good about it if we just don't fumble the ball. That's the only thing that worries me.
Well, I'm not going to fumble it. You say we.
I want Carter to just take it and take a knee.
Well, we'll see what happens
point.
here. Third down and 6 from inside the 15-yard line. Carter Brink takes the snap, and he gives on misdirection near side. That's complete. Stay in bounds, stay in bounds.
And he got knocked out
of bounds.
Unfortunately.
And he's very close to the first down, however. Needed 6 yards.
Yeah, we needed to stay in bounds. That was not a good deal. Oh, did he get the first?
Yeah, they're saying first down.
Oh, well,
Cubs.
good. If he got the first, we won't worry about it.
Gwynn picks up 6 and a much-needed first down. First and goal from the 8. That first down brought to you by Crown Power and Equipment. Cubs go to victory formation here. Brink takes the snap.
Gonna have to do it one more time, and then it'll be all over.
And as you said, the play clock goes to 40 seconds, and they'll need to do one more snap, and this one will be part of history, folks. The Cubs are going to come down to Earl D. Campbell Stadium and come away with a victory.
This is a very good birthday present for me, Benji.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Cubs delivered tonight. They delivered results, just like JMB Trucking in Cassville. Here's the last snap of the game. Brink takes the knee. The clock, homecoming here at Seneca, and they spoil as they upset another state-ranked opponent. The final in this one, ladies and gentlemen, the Monett Cubs 35. The Seneca Indians 20. Slip away here from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back with tonight's scoring summary after this timeout. D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. The final in this one, Monett wins it on the road, 35-28. Cubs continue their recent roll as they knock off the state-ranked Seneca Indians in a thrilling game here at Seneca High School. With a recap of tonight's scoring, here is my broadcast partner, Leonard Bauer.
Okay, Benji, this is the last of the state-ranked teams the Cubs are going to have to play until district time. And by that time, it might be that the Cubs might be a state-ranked team. In the first quarter, the Cubs took the opening kickoff. Ethan Umfleet returned the opening kickoff 85 yards for a touchdown. And Ethan Umfleet kicked the conversion, putting the Cubs up 7-0 with only 12 seconds off the clock. The Cubs scored again about midway through the first quarter. This time, Jamie Gwynn scored on a 15-yard run. And again, Ethan Umfleet kicked the extra point, putting the Cubs up 14-0. That's the way the first quarter ended, with the Cubs up 14-0. In the second quarter, the Cubs scored first with 8:56 left in the second quarter. Carter Brink scored on a 1-yard run, and a kick this time failed, leaving the Cubs ahead 20-0. Finally, the Indians, aided by a couple of turnovers from the Cubs, woke up, and with 5:51 left in the second quarter, Monty Mayles scored on a 7-yard run, and the kick attempt was blocked by Jamie Gwynn, leaving the Cubs up 20-6. But with 3:52 left in the second quarter, Lance Stevens for the Indians scored on a 23-yard run, and Monty Mayles ran the 2-point conversion, bringing the score closer with Monett 20 and Seneca 14. And that's the way the first half ended. In the third quarter, the Indians scored first with 7:05 left in the third quarter. Trey Wilson scored on a 49-yard run. Dathan Long received a 2-point conversion pass from quarterback Lane Stevens. And all of a sudden, after being up 20-0, the Cubs were behind 22-20. But the Cubs rose to the occasion. With 4:05 left in the third quarter, Jamie Gwynn scored on a 10-yard run. Ethan Umfleet ran the conversion, and that put the Cubs up 28-22. And that's the way the third quarter ended. In the fourth quarter, the Cubs scored first with 4:46 left. Carter Brink scored on a 1-yard run. Ethan Umfleet kicked the conversion, putting the Cubs up by 13, 35-22. But the Indians fought back all night long, and they weren't giving up yet. Just shortly after that, with only 4:09 left in the fourth quarter, Trey Wilson broke free on a 44-yard touchdown run for the Indians. And this time again, the conversion kick was blocked, leaving the Cubs up by 7, 35-28. After that, the Indians attempted an onside kick that was unsuccessful. The Cubs put the ball in play in Indian territory and managed to did they run out the clock there?
No, they did not. They ended up having to punt.
They had to turn the ball over to the Indians, and they held the Indians then. They punted the ball for the first time, held the Indians deep, got the ball back, and ran out the clock. So final score, Monett 35, Seneca 28, and a very exciting ball game.
Thank you, Leonard. It was an exciting ball game. The Cubs win it by 7 here on the road at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Monett 35, Seneca 28. When we come back, we'll take a look at post-game stats here at Seneca. Back with more of the post-game after this timeout. Back at Seneca High School, Benji Finsky alongside Leonard Bauer. Ryan Dasso, our producer engineer. Tonight the Cubs win at 35-28. Here's a look at post-game stats. First of all, for the Monett Cubs, they finish with 51 rushes tonight for 280 yards, 3 of 8 passing for 69 more. So the Cubs tally 349 yards of total offense. They racked up 18 first downs, but were hindered by 3 turnovers tonight, 2 interceptions and a fumble, 3 penalties for 20 yards, only a single punt, 28-yarder. For the Seneca Indians, 36 rushes for 194 yards, 10 of 19 passing tonight for 135, so the Indians finished with 329 in total offense. They had 13 first downs, no turnovers tonight, only 2 penalties for 15 yards, 5 punts for a 30.2-yard average. Individually, for the Monett Cubs, they were led on the ground by Brandon Majors, 110 yards on 23 carries. He was a workhorse, especially in the second half. Carter Brink finishes with 10 carries and 42 yards and 2 short touchdowns. Ethan Umfleet, 6 carries for 45 yards. Jamie Gwynn finishes tonight with 12 carries for 83 yards and 2 scores. Brink was 3 of 8 passing with 2 interceptions. He hit Junior Cravassos twice for 36 yards and hit Umfleet once for 33 more. For the Seneca Indians, they were led by Trey Wilson's 122 yards on the ground. He scored twice. Lance Stevens, a great job at quarterbacking tonight, 10 of 18 passing as he hit Dathan Long 4 times for 55 yards and Simpson 3 times for 28 more. Good ball game, Leonard. I don't know, from the start to the finish.
A great game, one that I think all the fans had to enjoy. Of course, the Cub fans probably enjoyed it more than the Indians, but 2 very fine football teams. It was one team would get the momentum, the other came back, got the momentum, and the Cubs got it back at the end, though, and when it really counted. But a tremendous football game and some really great plays made out there. We have this problem again of trying to pick the outstanding player.
Yep.
See what you think about it. I'm going to suggest a co-deal again.
Well,
Ethan Umfleet and Brandon Majors are my 2 nominees.
Well, I was thinking Brandon Majors because he carried the load so much, but Umfleet had so many big plays tonight.
In so many different ways, yes.
Yeah, plus, he handled the kicking duties tonight and did a good job with that. But obviously opened the game with an 85-yard kickoff return, had probably one of the best catches of the year on the right sideline there in the first half. I would agree with that. So tonight's player of the game will be split between Brandon Majors, who ends up with well over 100 yards tonight, and Ethan Umfleet, who had a score and helped the team in so many ways. And the player of the game sponsored by Crowder College in Neosho. With over 50 years of successful graduates, Crowder College is committed to academic excellence. Crowder College, where you are the difference. Tonight's player of the game again, Brandon Majors and Ethan Umfleet. We're going to slip away here from more of our sponsors tonight. When we come back, hopefully Coach Ewell will make his way up here to our perch here on the south sideline. We'll be back with more of the postgame after this timeout.